Hey guys, this is Mac from Venture Addicts, and on today's video, I sit down with Andy Vu. After moving to the United States at only 15 years old and not knowing a word of English, Andy has since created a life that so many creators dream of. Now, he's getting recognition from around the world for the visuals that he creates, he has paying clients for his craft, and he has a full-time job that allows him to travel to these breathtaking places every single month. I, as well as so many other creators, was curious as to how he crafted a life that so many people chase. I sat down with Andy to hear the ups, the downs, and the sacrifices it takes to make a life like this happen. I really hope you enjoy.
My name's Andy, as you know, but so I'm a full-time registered nurse that been a nurse for 5 years, but the recent 2 years that I started to follow photography, and has been my main hobby the last 2 years, and I'm really trying to make it like a full-time job. I believe it's probably my passion, my main passion right now. So
Where are you from?
originally from Vietnam. And,
Okay. You were born in Vietnam?
Yeah, born and raised, and I came here when I was 15 years old as a international student. So I've been a student for almost 10 years, but now I got my green card and everything worked out. So
How old are you, by the way?
27,
27?
turning 28.
And you became a nurse 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Got it.
Was it? Yeah. So 22, at the end of 22, that's when I done with school and got a job and all that stuff.
What made you decide to do nursing?
To be honest, at first, nursing was basically very needed at the time. And then I was afraid that I don't have a job when I finished
I think
school.
that's how we all feel sometimes.
Yeah, so at that time we were going through like depression as well. Like, was it 2008, 2010? That was like things really hard. So people would be like, you either go into oil field or go into healthcare. That's the only way you can find jobs.
Well, you didn't want to go to the oil field?
No, because it's gonna take longer. No, so my plan was to be so at first you can be a registered nurse with only a college, like a community college degree,
Right.
which is only take like 2.5 years right off of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I graduated high school early at the age of 17. So my plan was to be a nurse by the age of 20
Okay.
and then start working and maybe get a visa, sponsorship and all that stuff because they needed nurses.
Mm-hmm.
But then things didn't work out and I had to go into a university college. And
Okay.
but I ended up having it at the age of like 21.
Which is still like crazy young for a nurse,
Yeah,
right?
so I still in my time frame as my plan. And
Um,
then when I started doing nursing, which is like even doing like rotation and doing patient care and stuff, I really enjoyed it.
yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I mean, I got a job, I enjoyed it, and it turned into like kind of like a career for me.
So you did that for 3 years. Why all of a sudden did you start doing photography? How'd you start that?
As a nurse, we only work 3 days, so
Mhm.
you have 4 days, and I started traveling, which is always been my my dream. I think everyone dreams to travel the world.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
so when I have the opportunity, I take it right away. And photography start to blend in with the social media. Things start to work out. I see beautiful places, and my phone just doesn't do justice. So then I got a camera and watching a lot of YouTube, like a lot
YouTube
of
University?
I basically watching YouTube all days when I'm not working, and then just learning, just improving, and then started fall in love with it. Yeah.
Did you grow up traveling with your family, or is that something that you started doing?
That was something that's always in the bucket list. Like my family kind of not poor, but we are not like have enough money to travel as a family. So I always wanted to travel, but we just didn't have the means at that time. But now, so going to America was my first time on an airplane.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the
And
the
by
flight to
myself.
America?
Yeah,
Okay.
at the age of 15.
Your
So
family
that
didn't come
was-
with you?
No, my family didn't come with me. I have some relative here, but then it's really hard for Vietnamese people to come over here.
So you came to America alone?
Yeah. So
Whoa, I didn't know that.
I flew by myself with barely like spoken English.
What did that feel
Um,
like? Like the whole
it was
that
scary.
decision.
I got lost in LAX I'm sure everyone might have got lost before in LAX. But then I followed some other Vietnamese people on the same plane.
You found other Vietnamese people on the plane.
I found my people.
That's awesome.
And then they're also going to Houston, so I just followed them.
That might be a stupid question, but do you still know those people today? By any chance, did you like get in
No.
contact with them and like?
I just remember there's one guy that he lived in Austin.
Okay.
So in order to go to Austin, he had to fly into Houston and Houston
Okay.
to Austin. So I just followed him, and then I made it here.
What did you
So-
do when you got here? Did you have You said you had
Yeah, I
relatives.
have some family here, and I stayed with them for like a few years, going to high school and then colleges. They helped me out a lot. So
Was it
it's-
weird going into the school system here, like barely speaking English?
It was hard to adjust before. There was like a few Vietnamese friends that I just stick around, but I barely talk to anyone besides my Vietnamese people. Like
Mhm.
I just have a hard time talking to people
Mhm.
because English was like a main barrier. And then after a couple of years, that's when I started to open up, but not quite as comfortable as right now.
Mhm.
So it was a pretty hard adjustment. But I listened to a lot of English music to try my best to learn, watching Hannah Montana at the time. Or
That's awesome.
Zac Efron in
That's what you watched when you came to
musical.
America.
Yeah, I was just watching it all day, and
That's funny.
That's how I learned English,
Yeah, that's
Like,
how every
wherever
kid should
work,
learn English.
and it's fun. So
When you started photography, what was like the hardest part? Was it something that you thought would be a career, or was it supposed to just be a hobby?
It wasn't something that I thought would be a career, because I was just wanting to take photo of traveling, which no one would really pay for those photos unless it's like really amazing and people buy print and stuff from it. But I would never thought about it. I would just print it for myself. And then one of the challenges, like if you see something beautiful and then you went to the same place, but you just can't get your photo to that level, and that forces me to learn and expand my skills, try to like learning different technique to capture the light and that sort of thing, or composition and stuff. And then when you know all those skills, then it starts to expand to like finding different places, traveling. So that's like how I got better at photography.
What was the first place you traveled to? Like your first real trip?
So like I traveled to a lot of cities. Like I thought I'm a city boy from the beginning.
Mhm.
So I only go to like big cities. But then what really took off was the trip to Yosemite, which is like nature. And then from that go on, I'm like not even care about the cities anymore.
It's all
Yeah, it's
hiking,
all about
mountain
nature.
climbing.
It's all
whatever.
about mountain and hiking. And I guess because we're not growing up, in those beautiful places. So it's really put into perspective of, beautiful earth and those places that you only see on the TVs or on the calendar. And now you actually stand there and, take it all in.
Obviously, people have probably seen your social channel. I mean, you've grown pretty fast. What made you want to start putting your photos on social media and starting to like show the world and grow that?
I started seeing like a lot of people, like grow on social media, and people like follow me for, different reasons, but mostly because of the beautiful photos or beautiful places that I got to go to. And then people start reaching out to ask me to do their photos of like engagement, graduations, like my friends, they want me to do their maternities and then weddings and stuff. And then that's kind of like a source of part-time, or like I start seeing income from those venues, and that's making me think, like I got to do what I love to do and then still making money out of it, and that's making me, happy. So that's why I want to keep doing it and keep getting better at it.
Would you ever do photo only? I mean, you do nursing and you do photography now, and they both produce income. What if photo got to a level where it was producing the same or more income than nursing? Would you drop nursing?
Probably, but
I'm not going to hold you to anything or anything like that.
Maybe not, because I feel like nursing is like a skill set that, very valuable.
Mhm.
And then I actually really enjoy doing it. So I probably gonna do like part-time nursing and then full-time photography, or just try to balance it both. I probably would never stop doing nursing because I feel like the work is very meaningful. It wasn't something that I'm being forced to do. I
Mhm.
chose to do it, and I still very much enjoy doing it. And same thing with photography. I don't want it to be like a main sort of income where it take the enjoyment out of it.
Right.
I want to still to do things that I enjoy to do instead of forcing myself to do it. If that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. It seems like you have a pretty good balance of everything. And I mean, you recently built a house, correct?
Mhm.
Like you recently built your own house.
Yeah.
You have a full-time job that pays well. You get relative freedom to travel. You get featured on these big brands pages. You take beautiful photos. People reach out to you. You get to do all these things. So like on the surface, like people would look at you and say like you have it all. So like how did you achieve this? Like what do you think? And there's so many people trying to do this, right? Like to try to find this balance where they can travel and do what they love. How did you do it?
I don't know, man. It's actually very tiring.
Yeah.
Yeah. So especially working full time and then travel and everything else is actually very tiring. To be honest, I have cut back a lot of time spending with my friends, like my
Okay.
normal friends.
So you've
'cause-
made some sacrifices.
Yeah, because I have a lot of best friends that I haven't seen for months because just of my working and traveling, and I make a lot of new friends while traveling as well. So there's only 24 hours a day, and it's hard to pick and choose what you want to do or what you have to do besides what you love to do.
So you're saying that
So
maybe somebody would have to make some sacrifices
yeah,
if
you
they were
just
to.
have to pick out what you love to do the best and what's the best for you. Um, for me, so I work. So like I said, I work night shift, so I work 3 nights a row,
Mhm.
and then the fourth night will be my sleeping. So I basically slept for like 16 hours straight just
Okay.
to recover from that. And then I have like 2 3 days try to run errands and try to figure out editing photos and taking photos for clients and stuff, and that take out all my time, so I don't even have time to go out. So some people would choose to go out, have fun with friends and stuff, and then that's gonna be my sacrifice. But at this age, I'm not even enjoy going out anymore.
You got to pass the point.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Some people still go out till their 30s, so I don't know. But for me, I don't find that as an enjoyable as like 5 years ago when I really go out and have fun and just waste it every weekend. But now I rather spend my weekend on a road trip with my friends, or creating some photos, making a meaningful connection with people and the surrounding, rather than spending time and party and stuff. So that's just
What was your motivation behind kind of setting up this life that you have? Not that everything's perfect or anything like that, but just for what you've achieved so far, what do you think your main motivation was?
I think just find out what you do that make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and it takes time to find out what your passion is. It doesn't just show up in your front door and you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this. So my advice, just take your time and go with it and find out what you like, and then start investing time with it and spend time with the people who share the same passion. So lately, especially, I'm very thankful for the platform that we are on. I got to share a lot of adventures with new friends that who sharing like the same passion. I travel with a lot of stranger.
Oh, really? Like
Yeah.
first time meeting
Yeah,
them?
first time fly up there, meeting them, sharing the same car, sleeping in the car, and just taking photos and just having like a great time. And I at least met like so many people for the first time, even at nighttime.
Mhm.
Just going taking like star photos with stranger.
Mhm.
And I actually never feel scared or anything. Like it actually safe. Maybe because I'm a guy, but for a girl, they might take a little different approach. But
Mhm. What's like a common misconception? Like I'm sure you get a lot of DMs asking you questions, stuff like that. Like, is there a common misconception? And an example would be like people would DM us and say, how do you travel 24/7? You know what I mean? Like, like they'll be like, how do you travel all the time? And it's like, you don't understand. Like we have a lot of clients that we do boring work for. So what's like a misconception?
People don't understand that whatever show on social media doesn't mean everything. So we tend to show, what people like to see. I only show people of my travelings, and basically that's it. Like when I'm crying or when there's shit happen, I actually never put on my story. I'm just not a public complainer.
Mm-hmm.
So most of people always see positive thing on my page.
Mm-hmm. What do they say to you via like
message? They always
DM?
say how you guys travel so much, how you how do you do this, do that, how you always traveling, and that sort of thing. But I mean, I don't travel all the time. Maybe like once a month. That's a lot for some of the people, but I'm just saying
once a year is a lot for people sometimes. You're going once a month.
Yeah, but I know people who go in every week. So, because they work as a travel photographer, so they got to travel every week. But yeah, like some people always bring, they always complain on social media, but I'm not. So I always show people my positive aspect of life, and I don't know. I just think that there's so much to share. Why not be positive instead of negative?
If somebody, say a kid getting out of high school wants to travel like you, wants to take photos like you, wants to kind of do the things you get to do, what would be kind of the first steps for them? What would you tell them if he or she was sitting here right now?
I'm a big believer in schooling and stuff in university. So I feel like if you find out your passion and if you know what you want to do and what you're really passionate about, then go ahead and do it, and just have a solid plan, or at least having a mentor who can show you the right way to do it. Because I know a lot of people that success dropping out of school just because they know what they're doing and they want to go at it, and school wasn't what they wanted to do. So that's why they drop out of school. It's not because they drop out of school that make them success. Yeah. So if you know what you want to do and school is the right way to do it, then go ahead for it. Because there's stuff that is like a medical doctor who need an actual, a degree and stuff. Then that's what they go in for. Dropping out of school and going to treat people not gonna be the right way to do it. At photography, so many people learn from YouTube and stuff. That is schooling to me. You just don't pay for it.
Right.
Yeah. So that is still schooling. I don't like it when people are saying dropping out of school as a cool thing to say, because they success as the end of it. Like Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook, he started school and then he building stuff while he in school, and then he dropped out because he know that's gonna be what make him success, and that's the passion for it.
Okay.
Yeah. But he doesn't brag about it. Oh, I dropped out of school, and he's still putting foundation.
So you think a lot of people are bragging about just the bare thing that they dropped out?
Yeah, they still learning from other things, and that's still schooling to me. You're still reading books, you're still learning from other people. That's just not a formal schooling.
Right.
It's still, you're still getting education from some source. So like photography, I getting education from so many amazing people from, YouTube and stuff, or like learning through practicing. And same thing like nursing, I can't get that on myself getting out of school. I have to get that from, the university.
What kind of adversity you've faced getting, from ground zero to where you are now?
I don't know. I'm pretty lucky, I have to say. Because I only have people that helping me like throughout my life. There's always someone that there when I need it. So adversity, I guess, not being like a Native American, I guess, because as a foreigner, you have to try a little harder than the kid that was born and raised here. But it's also make me appreciate life more. um yeah, you just gotta try harder. When I was in school, so in order for me to get a job, it's always, an extra step, because I have to go through immigration and asking for extra stuff. On top of that, I have to be better than other candidates, because I have to go through extra thing. And then in order to get like sponsorship to work here on an F1 visa, a lot of company, they rather not to deal with it. They rather just go ahead and hire someone who already have the paperwork.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So like they actually have to pay extra to sponsor someone who are, not American citizen to work for them. So what make me, you know, justify that for them is that I have to be better than other people. I have to be better than other candidate. So I have to try a lot harder. I have to make my resume look extremely better than anyone else in order to get that job. So I spend extra time doing a lot of volunteer work, a lot show up at every health fair and every meeting, try to get connection with other professor, try to get a good resume, a good letter recommendation. Just try to be better than myself and anyone else. So, and that's the same philosophy with anything like in photography. If you want to be successful, you just gotta try harder. And by trying harder, meaning invest time in it. It's like, is it someone say 10,000? You have to put in 10,000 hours to be a master of something. And when I love something, I just don't feel like I'm working for it. I just feel like I'm doing it. I don't know. I just feel like pouring time into it and just learning and enjoying. Like lack of sleep doesn't really matter anymore. I'm sure you're going through
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Like you're making video and you're so excited to drop it, and you're like, oh, it's not done, but you already been up for 24 hours.
Yeah.
You still just wanna
Yeah, you'll stay
let's
up.
just finish it.
Yeah. I've met photographers that have been photographers for 10 years. And I would say that you're a better photographer than them just from image quality, from a lot of aspects. So do you think that philosophy you just shared has fed into that photography? Like, only being a photographer for 3 years, like that's surprising because you're one of the better
Yeah.
photographers that I know. So did that philosophy feed into photography as well? Like getting better, being the best, or
I think when you be more critical of your work, and people say don't compare yourself to others, but I feel like I compare myself to a lot of like better photographer. Like I compare my work to their work, not just the same composition or the same place, but just overall image qualities or overall. Just be very critical of your own self and try to find a way to improve it. Because at the end of the day, the better work that you make is gonna result in a better. It's gonna get a better result if you wanna make better money, or if you wanna have like, if you just wanna make better result, then you have to put the work into it.
what creators do you like right now? Even if they're not like the major ones, I'll tag them in the description below. Who do you like right now?
The one that inspired me to travel was like Chris Bakar, and just everybody know him. But he put out some really good work, and then I like his work ethic. He's always promote nature conservations and giving back to a lot of people. So he's very respected in like the photography industry, or just on Instagram in general. So that's one of my biggest influencer. And then Emmett Sparling was someone I look up to as well. He's a full-time travel photographer, very young and very talented. Let me see who else. And then Peter McKinnon.
Yeah, of course. Everybody's
Yeah,
got
so
to love Peter McKinnon.
He's like he's some people that inspire me to actually like get into video and just make things work by just using the phone. Or he basically make it fun to making video and make things very enjoyable.
What camera equipment do you use right now?
So right now I'm having A7R3
Mm-hmm.
was my main camera, and then a 16 to 35 f2.8 is my favorite lens to shoot on.
Mm-hmm.
It's the wide angle. So for landscape and travel, wide angle is work the best.
Yeah.
And then the telephoto, I have the 70 to 200.
Do you have any like photo taking secrets that you know that you would want to share with anybody, like whether that's like settings or location actually that you go to?
I think
What's your favorite style of photo to take?
lighting is like the best. So you can shoot on iPhone with a best lighting and it still come out just as good as a camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like sunrise or sunset would be like the perfect time to take photos. And then for like composition, anything that look good, or you can just do like, I would say like the reflection would be like very classic composition.
Mm-hmm.
And then moving around and finding different angles, low, high, just try to, like move around and find different angles. And sometimes like,
Go ahead. You keep going.
sometimes you just see something that done before and then try to recreate with your own taste. And
Okay.
and every photo are different, even though it's the same composition, but if it's different lighting, it will have different effect, and how you edit it will make it different.
What do you edit on?
Lightroom and
Only
Photoshop.
Lightroom, Photoshop?
Yeah, that's the only program that I'm using.
How long did it take you to master those or get good at those?
Oh, a lot of tutorials too.
Do you have a favorite tutorial channel that you look at? Like one person that you like? We watch Justin Odisho for pretty much all of our video tutorial needs. Justin Odisho. He does like video effects and whatnot.
I think there's one French photographer. His name is Serge Ramelli.
Mm-hmm.
He do a lot of tutorial on Lightroom, and he was the first one that I watched. Like he basically teach me all the basic in Lightroom. More advanced, I would say. I don't know. I YouTube a lot of like. I usually just put in like if I want to do
the specific thing you're trying to do.
Yeah.
I
would usually just put in like how to make the star, how to edit Milky Way, and then that'll pop up everything. Or like how to, let's say, add a fake birds or remove the sky. So everything will come up on YouTube, and then so I watch like several people now.
With everybody trying to grow their social media channels, how have you grown? I'm not going to say easily, but very fast.
So like putting out like very unique and best work content.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to post every day. That's what I've been trying to do. It's very time consuming when you try to post every day, and not a lot of people got to travel every month to collect content and stuff every
That's
day.
your secret. Travel every month if you want to grow really fast.
Yeah.
Just go somewhere every week.
Yeah, just go in the backyard and make it like travel feel, and then you make it work. But
you also get featured on a lot of places too.
Yeah, so like contact those feature pages, tag them, make friend with them, and then when you tag them, you're doing them a favor, and in return, if your work is great, they will feature you. So everything comes both ways. And then make like meaningful connection, be friendly. If you expect them to comment on your photos, not because it's great, but because they love your work and they're supporting you, you should show support back to them. Like I said, everything comes your way, and be thankful for it. And then on top of that, just know your game. I watched a lot of YouTube of like how to grow on Instagram to get like updates. Because it is I see it as a marketing tool. Beside like the platform is also a way for you to sell your prints, or making money, making income. and then putting your work out there as a gallery,
Mm-hmm.
and how you display them is matter. So
Mhm.
how you post them, how to present them to your viewers, everything matter. It's not just I want to post ABC in one day and then I'll take a break for a week and posting
So
DEF the
forming a
next day.
plan.
That's not a plan.
Right.
That's not like a regimen. So you have to, have a game plan if you want to grow your Instagram.
We were talking a little bit before, we started recording about budget travel.
Uh-huh.
Share your thoughts on that. What are your thoughts about it? Because you said you travel budget, right? Like
Yeah.
like every trip you try and keep
Every
it.
trip is budgeted really carefully. So a lot of time when I travel, I don't have like a specific place planned out. I usually have my date open as I request off already.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go on like Google Flight. That's like where I find cheap tickets.
Mm-hmm.
So I go on Google Flight, I put in the date, and then I'll see on the map which city that have the cheapest ticket.
Okay.
So if I usually from Houston to Denver is always cheap because Denver is a big hub. It's in the middle of America. A lot of fly go in there, so that's cheap, and it's Colorado. There's a lot of things to do there. And then from Houston to Vegas is very cheap as well. I can get flight tickets for like $100. And then from here to Seattle, sometimes it's cheap when you fly late flight, like red eye flight and stuff. So those are cheap too. LA's would have a lot of national park around. So those are like the city that I go to for like cheap ticket. And then I make a lot of friends on social media, and I usually reach out to them, see if they can, let me crash at their place, or if they want to travel with me, and we split up the car rental, and we sleep in the car sometimes.
You usually sleep in the car, or is it like half and half, or most of the time?
I sleep in the car. Most of the time, when it's not cold. When it's not cold, and we sleep in the car, just a SUV with some air mattress and stuff, and it's doable for a guy. I'm not like a luxury traveler or anything. And we eat ramens, fast food. Subway is one of my favorite. Sick food, cut by half. That 2 meals.
Yeah.
So that's like $4, $3 each.
Nice.
Very cheap. For road trip, if we go like 3 or 4 people, then we can get an Airbnb and split up by 5. Any of people who travel with me have no problem with sleeping on the floor.
Right.
Or with just an air mattress.
Is that a prerequisite? Like,
yeah,
you're like, hey, if you're
we're
gonna travel,
take turns sleeping on the floor, or having like a sleeping bag and just a blow up air mattress. None of them had any problem with that. Only people that do have problem with that, they will never travel with them again.
Yeah, they're out.
Yeah, too much complaining.
Do you have a favorite place that you've gone?
There's a lot of favorite places. Most of the all of the national parks has a special things, a special place for me. Like, I guess that's why they call national parks.
Yeah,
because those places are beautiful. So I love them all. I already been to more than 20 national parks within like 2 years.
Really?
And a lot of state parks, because that's where I plan to go. Like if I see some national park that's pretty, and then I will go. I mostly go to the popular one first, and then I try to go to the one that's not so popular, and put in my own twist. Because again, you want to be unique. You want to create things that hasn't been seen before. So that's what I've been trying to do. I get to the popular one because they are so pretty and so famous. And when I see that, I tend to go to places that are not so popular, and then make it look just as good.
Do you have a favorite photo that you've ever taken? And you can, if you have one in mind, you can describe it, and I'll actually post it on the screen, like when this video is showing.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, you can. No, you'll send it to me, and I can post it. And like, so do you have like a favorite photo?
So my favorite landscape photo was probably at let me see. This must be the one at the Horseshoe Bend. I'm sure you've been there before. I went there for at least 3-4 times. and that one image, what I got away was, it's a beautiful sunset.
Tell
It
the
was
story of
just-
how you got it. Like, what were you feeling? Like, what was like the more, like you said, it was a sunset. So,
Yeah, it was a
so,
sunset.
so is
and
there like
was
what's the story behind it?
there was like a big storming behind where they rolling me, and then it was sunset in front of me. You know how the desert is like, you can see the storming way miles away, but then
Mhm.
you can see it's like it's really close to you.
Yeah.
And then there's on the other side where the sun was setting, and it's just crazy colors and stuff. It was just amazing. And then I was there with two of my friends who, so that was my third time being there, but my two other friends, that's their first time.
Okay.
So just by seeing their reaction was like jaw dropping.
Mm-hmm.
It's just such an iconic place. You know, those places, if you go in the middle of the day, it might be beautiful, but it's probably not memorable. It's not like wow. But when you show them at the right time for the first time, they will remember forever. They was like just so happy, and that's what I take away, is like seeing when you bring your friend to a new place that you're so excited to show them, and they get excited as well. That's make, an unforgettable moment.
100%. Okay. You do a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
You travel, you're a full-time nurse, you work out, you've got a dog, you've got a house, you've got a lot to take care of. Does it ever get to the point where it's overwhelming, it's too much?
I don't think so. Maybe not there yet, because actually I'm still trying to make this work. Like I'm still trying to like find the right balance so that I'm not getting exhausted. But yeah, like physically I'm exhausted. But every time I travel to places, like that's just so refreshing, and then I come back and feel more energetic. So like is it exhausting? Because when I travel, I even like get off work at 7 in the morning, go home, pack, and then get the flight at like 10 a.m. So it's only like always running, and I find myself work better under pressure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like a big procrastinator. Like if there's pressure, I work better.
Okay.
If it's too relaxed, then yeah, I don't get things done when it's too relaxed, because I'll get relaxed myself. So yeah, I don't really. For right now, I'm not tired. It's like when I see beautiful places and doing what I love, then that's it. The fire.
It's refreshing.
Yeah, it's very refreshing. It's like
I listened to a guy named Tim Ferriss. I don't know if
Uh-huh.
you've heard of him. He's one of my favorite podcasters. So I'm going to steal two questions from him. One of them is what daily, what habit or routine that you use, what has most affected your life in a positive way? So what's something you do, a habit or routine or something like that you love, that it works for you? Or do you just always run on like
Yeah,
whatever's
maybe I need
happening
to-
in the moment that works for you kind of thing?
that's a good question that I need to find out my routine. Like I don't have,
Okay. I
I
didn't
don't
mean to.
have a routine. Like I know some people read book before they go sleep.
Mhm.
Some like, but I don't know. Like I think I just watching a lot of YouTube. Like I just find my favorite show. So when I have nothing to do, I'm just surfing through YouTube and watching what I.
So like a
favorite show.
decompress,
Yeah,
like
a-
consuming content kind of thing.
Yeah, and then playing with my dogs, and so working out used to be my outlet,
Mhm.
but I've been trouble so much that I like not having a motivation to go work out as much as I used to before, and that's just hard. So I try to get back to that, venue, try to work out more and getting a balanced life. Some people can do things in a way where it's like balancing, but for me it's hard. It's like when I like something so much, I put a lot of time into it. So like before photography, I so much into fitness, and then I just spend time like working out twice a day and eating rice and watching a bunch of YouTube how to make healthy food and how to do exercise and that sort of thing like crazy. And then after I find out photography, then I just invest so much time in it that I neglect everything else. So it's like you either go extreme or you don't.
That sounds like a habit of a lot of successful people that I've met.
Yeah.
Like it's to the point of almost being, some would say, unhealthy.
Yeah.
But you know, I wouldn't say that, and I don't think you would say that it's unhealthy about photography. But do you know what I'm saying? Like just that aspect of like being so into it that, you know,
yeah, like
it's
there's the
extreme.
nights and then
Yeah.
just forget everything else. So I try to, you know, kind of pull back a little bit. Like I recognize that
Mm-hmm.
instead of blindly doing it. So
Yeah.
I actually seeing it, like I see my body changing and I'm not, you know, as fit as I used to be or that sort of thing, or not as healthy. Like hiking, I'm not at, you know, carrying like 40 pounds of gears and hiking into like in the middle of the night or trying to get sunrise and sunset. It's tiring. Like it's have a lot on my body. I'm like, oh, I don't feel as good as I used to be before. So that make me realize, yeah,
You see it happening.
physically I'm not as healthy as I used to be. Maybe I need to, you know, pull back, try to, you know, exercise some more, and then still doing photography, you know, on top of that.
Mhm.
So it's the thing is that you gotta realize what you're doing,
Right.
You know.
And my last question that I can think of, at least for now, is what's something that you do that people may think is weird, but you don't think, like, what's something that people may not know about you that they might think is weird? And an example for myself I'd give would be I eat the same things every single day at the same time every single day. Not because it's like, oh, it's the healthiest thing to do. It's like just a thing that I do. It's like an OCD habit kind of thing. So is there anything that you can think of? Like,
I don't know. I'm always like running late, but like on time.
so you're always running late kind of thing.
Not like late, like if,
No. I
like the
wasn't.
meeting here at 6, I would be here at 6.
Okay, that's a good one. So you're
Even
like,
I try to
you're
be
like
early, but I'm still gonna make it at 6. Like even like working, you gotta clock in at 45, and for some reason I always make it at 44 and 45. Running
no
the
matter
clock.
how early you try to
Yeah,
get there.
like doesn't matter how close I live to work. Like I move so I can leave close to work, and I'm still show up at 45.
That's funny. That's
If
actually
I live an hour away, I'm still show up at 45.
that's hilarious. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Has
like,
somebody told you that you do that? Was somebody like, you always show up like
yeah, people told me that I'm always like
almost
make it
late?
on time, but
Like almost late?
almost late. Is it on time or in time?
Yeah, on time.
On time,
Yeah.
yeah. Like not in time, but on time.
Well, unless you wanted to say anything, that's really all I had written down. That's all I can think of. I think I really appreciate you coming and sharing all this stuff, man. Is there anything else you want to say?
I'm just very thankful that you having me here. Like honestly, I'm just feel like a normal guy, like nothing special.
You don't look like a normal guy
No,
in
like,
terms of what you
for
do,
real.
man. You travel like crazy. You're one of the best photographers
Like
I know.
I never see myself as, you know, something different or some, you know, like influencer or whatever. I'm just doing what I love to do. That basically. So when people like telling me this and that, this just make me like very appreciative. Yeah,
I can see
I
that.
never take things for, you know, like for granted.
Where can people find you? I don't know how many people are going to watch this video, but the ones that do, where can they find you? Where do you want people to go?
So on Instagram, is basically my main social platform.
And what's your name on Instagram?
It's Andy H Vu.
Mhm.
So Andy H Vu is VU, but you can put it there because it's like very Vietnamese.
I'll put it there. Very Vietnamese.
They're
I
not
like
gonna
that.
be able to like find them, but just Andy Vu. VU is my last name.
Cool, man. It was really good talking to you.
Me too. My pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. Please go follow Andy if you don't already. His photos are incredible, and he's one of the nicest people you'll ever interact with. Subscribe to our channel below and leave your review of this episode in the comments below. Later.